chairs are just sitting on right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to One Chair. None of what you will hear is financial advice, and this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Hey, everyone. Okay, so we had some interesting news coming on Monday. So it's been a little while as we're recording now on Thursday, but there was a change of ATM for strategy where they issued about 300 million worth of common share, and the following their change of guidance about 1.5 weeks ago now. So yeah, that was interesting to see. I personally like it. It looks like the markets also reacted more or less positively. And here, maybe just to give a couple of thoughts initially is exactly, I think that when they first issued the guidance, the market didn't react or even reacted mostly poorly following their Q2 earnings. And I think that was Ben Werkman who exactly mentioned at the end of the day, the loudest that are screaming about the ATMs that are not happy with it are the retail investors on Twitter, but that's just a minority. And probably most of the investors are the institutional investors. And the institutional investors clearly didn't like it. And they started withdrawing some of the funds from strategy. And that's probably why we saw the price action. And it looks like they're coming back following the change in guidance, which is probably a good thing, right? So I think it's quite positive in general. I know there's still a lot of ATM FUD going around, but I like to see, and also it just gives you this foundational basis of Bitcoin to be able to continue in the future to issue more preferred shares, right, and leverage up however they want. So and everybody knows Bitcoin is going to go up. So the more Bitcoin they have, the better. They're still accreting to shareholders at the end of the day. So whether we're looking at 1.6 or 2 or 2.5 MNAV, I think this right now is insignificant numbers considering how the price or what the price of Bitcoin is today. We'll be looking at this in maybe 4 or 5 years if you're planning to hold the stock that long, and you'll probably be laughing at this, right? So I like it. So I'll maybe pause right here.
Yeah, I think I mostly agree with you. I think it's fascinating the market, the way it reacts, or the way it has been reacting over the last few months. It's really difficult to predict what will happen, and I was surprised again. Last week we talked about the guidance changing of the ATM, and I wasn't really sure if what this would mean. It would just mean that they have more flexibility to issue again, but will they actually do it? How aggressive will they be? And I thought maybe they will just not issue much or not at all until the MNAV goes back up again. But they went very aggressive again, 300 million in the first week after the guidance changed, or within the week they changed it. I think they changed it on Monday, and then in that week they had 300 million of ATM. So right away they went back into the market and sold their shares aggressively. And the interesting thing is that the stock went up, and in those weeks when they stopped, as you mentioned, the market didn't like it and the stock actually went down. So there was zero sell pressure from strategy themselves, and the stock went down. And now there's 300 million in a week of sell pressure and the stock goes up. So it shows that the bigger investors in the stock, they really like it. And as you said, it's still accretive in Bitcoin terms. And it looks like they will continue to do that. And again, this helps also the price of Bitcoin also in the short term, because there's a buy pressure on Bitcoin. But it's fascinating to see. And it's I mean, at the end of the day, now it was the right decision that they took to quite quickly reverse course and change their guidance on the ATM. I still think it would be interesting to find out, maybe we will at some point in a few months or a year, what the thinking was behind closed doors of issuing this guidance? Was it really just to try to appease Twitter retail shareholders, or did they think that the MNAV would shoot up to 2.5, and then it would be even more accretive for them and to start issuing again? Or what was the thinking behind it? Because probably I think that they thought the stock would go up a lot after issuing this guidance, and it didn't. So they changed course again.
Yeah, that's my thinking as well. It was an experiment to see a bit what happens, right? Like, okay, let's issue guidance. Let's see if the stock goes up or down. And we can always change the course of action if needed. And I feel like that was because it was super quick. Like they already, it's almost as if they knew they had to change course, right? So yeah, it looks like a thought experiment, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to know what was their thought behind it initially.
Yeah. But I still think they need to be careful with that, though, because they shouldn't do that too often. Because again, then what does a guidance even mean if you change it every second week? We'll see how it continues to evolve. But I understand also the frustration behind it, because they do disclaim that they can change it at any time. But then what's the value of even having a guidance if you're changing it? And the market participants, they do position themselves according to what the company says, right? And if they're not careful and change course too often, then they will lose some trust, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you can't be like in a software or a tech company where you build things quickly and break things quickly, right? Here it doesn't work. This is way more, you need to be a little bit more meticulous in the way that you do things. Nonetheless, I think the course of action that they took was the right one in reversing the guidance. And yeah, let's see what the next weeks hold. And I think it's just like, again, at the end of the day, if you believe in Bitcoin and MSTR in the long run, I think we won't even remember this so much at the
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, on the looking ahead on the preferred issuances, what we saw is that Stretch is slowly recovering as well, is going closer to the $100, and this one will be interesting to have some numbers as well on ATM that they're able to do on that. And the more ATM on the common that they do, and the more Bitcoin they put on the balance sheet, the more preferreds they'll be able to issue without leveraging up too much. So in the mid to long term, it's certainly the right thing to be further accretive to the shareholders.
Yeah, no, that's. I think it's gonna be. I mean, they also issued the guidance on STRC's dividend policy, more or less. I don't know if maybe you want to go through some of the key numbers there.
Yeah, so they already had a framework of what they would do, basically in not doing anything if the stock trades between $99 and $101, and then issuing more if it's over 101, and then increasing the dividends if it's under 99. But now they refined it a bit, and they have a clear plan now of if the stock trades between 95 and 99, they will increase the dividend rate by 25 basis points in the next month. And if it trades below 95, they will increase by 50 basis points. So you have a clear understanding as a market participant of will the interest rate go up or not in the next month, if depending on where the stock trades. And I think this was received positively by the market, because after that there was a tick up in the price of Stretch here, trading at 797 now, so close to the 100 target.
Yeah, it's recovering quite nicely. I'm curious to look at the volumes from this week. So in the previous episode, we had a look at the volumes as well, right? And we saw the last couple of weeks weren't so good. So I'm wondering now that we have a recovery this week, how the volume also is looking. So maybe that's something for the next episode to have a look at once the week is closed.
Yeah.
Because
And
that's going to drive, right? I think this one's going to be the main driver on the following weeks. If they have a $100 price, they're going to pick up all the slack from the rest of the preferreds by far.
And it could happen quite soon within September if you think about the Fed potentially cutting rates in September, combined with higher dividends that they will raise it now with this new guidance. If in the next 2 days it doesn't hit 99, they will raise it by 25 basis points for September. So we'll have almost 10% dividend on stretch, combined with rate cuts potentially. And that the rate cuts, they will mostly affect the short end of the curve, right? So this is where stretch is playing, and so stretch will be even more attractive after some rate cuts. And yeah, I think within September we could hit the 100 mark, and they could start issuing the ATM.
Yeah, I don't know. I think probably in the next couple of weeks we finally get to see this product in action on the ATM side of the things. So really looking forward to see how it performs. All right, I think that's already it for MSTR for this week. And moving briefly to Metaplanet, looks like they'll be issuing shares to internationally to institutional investors. And that's going to be, again, quite interesting to see because they already have a huge plan. I believe that's part of their 555 million share plan. So now we're finally seeing some actions by Metaplanet outside of Japan. So now they're moving on to the international market. So that's really exciting to see. And now with their shareholder meeting on the 1st of September, which is in a few days already, I think there's some pretty interesting things happening there. So yeah.
I think I don't know if this is correct, but from some sources on X, you see what's impressive to me is the speed at which they will be able to, or they plan to issue those additional shares and raise money. It's around $880 million that they want to raise, and they want to do that between September and October, so within the next 2 months. And they hold about 2 billion in Bitcoin today, so it would be almost 50% of their current Bitcoin holding that they would be adding in the next 2 months.
Yeah, Metaplanet doesn't seem to do things halfway. They go fully, like they go all in. Looking back also at their preferreds, right? We looked at how their orders of magnitude higher than strategies to some extent, considering their Metaplanet's market cap. It's quite crazy to see.
Yeah, exactly. The preferreds, they what was it, 3 billion each?
3.6 billion, I believe, if I
Yeah.
remember well. Yeah.
So 4 times their current Bitcoin holdings.
Yeah. So they're going full speed ahead to their 2027 mission, which is to accumulate the 210,000 Bitcoin, right? And from looks of things, if they manage to pull out all of these different levers, they will probably do it.
Yeah.
They're gonna reach the 1%.
But the prefers they will not issue within a few months, right? This is a multi-year plan to issue those 3.6 billion each. But I think that on those international shares, this is the impressive thing, is that it's really short term.
Yeah, I think they already have. So that's speculation on my side, but I believe they already have deals with these international investors, and that's the reason why they're able to aggressively put those shares out there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, super bullish news coming from Metaplanet, in my opinion, and yeah, next week's going to be again. I think we need to keep an eye on Metaplanet, because already on Monday they have the shareholder meeting, so things are going to be quite volatile.
Yeah.
All right. Moving to maybe just a quick mention to our friends over at Strive. They're also now closing their merger sometime soon, so they have the shareholder voting going on. So if you're a shareholder of Strive, make sure to vote yes for the close of the merger. And yeah, looks like things are moving on all fronts on the Bitcoin treasuries side. So bullish overall.
Yeah, let's see if we can find the bottom on those companies, because the last few months have been a bit rough on all of them, with them NAV compressions across the board. But it looks like maybe now stabilizing and ready for the next leg up. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's hope so. All right. Thanks all for listening. See you on the next one.
Bye bye, everybody. See you next time.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now?